Today I have some fantastic track action for you from Caterham Graduates at Oulton Park. On April the 17th, Caterham Graduates were able to go racing for the first time of the season at Oulton Park. Due to the restrictions at the time, this was held behind closed doors. But what we've been able to do is work with several other drivers who have kindly provided their footage, and we've put this together for you in a full race video. We will look at race number 2 of the weekend, and it's the Caterham Sigma 135 grid shared with the Sigmax and Sigma 150s having a qualification race at the back of the grid. Let's go and join the action. Here I am pulling up to 13th place on the grid. It's such an exciting feeling to be placing your car onto a live grid and waiting for those red lights to come on and then go out. But for today's start, we're going to jump on board with Neil Evans. Neil gets off to an amazing start and passes Ian, Tom, Alistair, David and Simon into the first corner, going from 7th up to 3rd. Just a small clip there from James in the first corner was enough to unsettle Neil's car. Through comes David and Ian. Alistair passes on the left and Syshaw's on the right. Neil's left wheel was clipped and it pushes him towards Syshaw. This results in further contact taking off Syshaw's rear wing. Now we join Zed. He'd started in 23rd place but lost a place off the grid. He has a great drive through and out of Cascades, passing Paul and Michael along the straight. I lost 3 places off the grid and just about to lose another place down to 17th to Simon. I had a good drive out of Ireland and retook that 16th spot. I'm tucked behind my Academy buddy from 2020, car 100, Stu Hatzel. Let's jump up the pack to 10th place and ride with Mark. He's making ground on Oliver on the way into the Knickerbrook chicane. He managed to get his car up the inside and broke and stopped in time for that right-hander of Knickerbrook. And Mark now riding in 9th place. Tom had made a terrible start and left himself everything to do. He started 5th and here he is running in 13th, but we take a look at these replays showing how he makes a couple of spots back in the first lap. Here's me and Stu coming through Druids towards the end of our first lap. I'd had good pace through Druids throughout the weekend and managed to get in Stu's slipstream. Up alongside him, got on the brakes for Lodge, making the corner. That takes 15th place. Now riding with Mark in 9th place and he's having a battle there for 8th with Alistair. Taking that 8th place and swings into Cascades. And let's have a ride with position number 1, Chris Skillicorn. Stu benefiting from my toe and swings round me into Island Bend. Unable to get enough of my car back up the inside of Stu into Island, that corner's his. Now on board with Tom on the run down to the Knickerbrook chicane, taking 10th place from Oliver. Let's take a look at the replay from Chris's car. Chris got away cleanly, side didn't have such a good start and Chris took the lead into the first corner. Chris taking a defensive line into the first corner there to keep James McCall at bay. Back on board with Tom, he's making brilliant progress back through that pack, and here he is going for 9th spot. James making his way round Chris at Cascades there. But Chris picking up his slipstream and they are side by side. Chris gets ahead for Island Bend. The cars touch and Chris's car is wounded. His rear wing is now rubbing on his tyre. Riding with me to the Britain chicane, and through comes Andrew. I'm back to 17th place. Andrew's slightly offline as he gathers the car together through the chicane. That hampered my drive at the chicane slightly, and now Mark is right behind me. I move to the inside line ready to defend, but Mark is much quicker and manages to get right round the outside. Whilst that action was going on, let's take a look at a replay of Zed. Taking 21st spot from Michael as he swings into the first corner. Great view from Neil's car. You can clearly see the wounded car of Chris there. The wing is rubbing on his rear tyre. Now on board with Tom, making good progress, this time on Mark. Picking up the slipstream there as he moves along the straight, moves out and takes 8th spot as we move into Island. Again you can see Chris's car there. A slow drive at Cascades, Lydia in my slipstream, making more or less an identical move to what she made on me in the first race. And now I'm down into the 19th spot. Replay from Zed's car. Again, Lydia making great progress here, passing Simon into the Knickerbrook chicane. Back on board with Tom. Si had gone through the escape route for the chicane. Tom able to make progress and around into 6th spot. Budden on board with Zed in 21st spot. Here comes one of the faster 150s coming through the pack. Just enough to put Simon off of line and Zed taking advantage and up into 20th spot. Zed allowing the other Sigma 150 and Sigmax through. They're having a race of their own, they're not taking places away from Zed. Chris bringing his car into the pits to see if they can free the wing from the wheel. The LFP team there quickly stepping in and getting Chris back out. He's now slipped down to 22nd spot. Zed stepping aside to allow one of the quicker 150s through.
grid was shared with the quicker Sigma 150s and Sigmax classes, and they're having a race of their own. On board with Neil, great view here. Third and fourth spots being contested in front. Through the avenue and swing through Cascades. £109 an hour as we move into Island Bend, and then a sharp brake down to just over 50 miles an hour for the Shell Oils hairpin. Through the Britain chicane and not using too much curve on the left. The curve's really big and can unsettle the car. Now through the Knickerbrook chicane, the final section, this right-hander is really important. You need to get on the gas. It's a long drag up the hill towards Druids. Riding on board with me, leading a little bit offline through the Britain chicane, slightly slower exit. I get a bit of a run on her down towards Knickerbrook, throw a dummy to the right, see if I can make a move, but I wasn't able to get my car far enough round the outside to make a place. Our once leader Chris is now running in 22nd spot, but he is absolutely flying. Watch how quickly he reels in Michael here and passes in for 21st spot. Back on board with Neil, David just in front there, and we're contesting for 4th spot here. Nice and tidy through Knickerbrook. Starting to pick up a toe on David there. And a run through Druids, mid-corner speed, well up into the 80s there. And a good exit as we move down towards Lodge. Neil picking up David's slipstream there as we move towards Lodge. A half look, no, not this time. Neil is now tucked right up behind David and right in his slipstream as we come down the start-finish straight. Neil gets his car up alongside of David and into the first corner, Old Hall. And back on board with Chris, running in 21st spot. this time overtaking Paul for 20th spot. The car now in front of Chris is from the quicker class. Whilst Chris is racing Peter, Chris is clearly quicker at this stage of the race and needs to get past Peter so he can make progress. On board with Tom, now up to 6th place. What a brilliant recovery ride from Tom there. Making good progress through the first corner at Old Hall. Down through the avenue and turning in for Cascades. Getting a great view of the top 5 there. His car is separated by just a second or so. And the 6 cars navigating away safely past the back marker. An error there from Alistair in the Britain chicane has allowed Tom to make a space up into 5th. Replay riding on board with me in 17th place. We're taking a look at Lydia Gold, this time taking the spot from Stu Hatsall into Lodge. A bit later that lap, as I move into Island Bend, I see the yellow flags waving. Sigma 150 class cars. Always a concern when you see a yellow flag in such a high speed section of the circuit. Now riding on board with Chris. In front of Chris is Charlie Cahill. Charlie is in the Sigmax class and he's a novice driver. This was only his second race, with his first race being earlier in the day. Well done Charlie, you have really good pace and it's good to get those 2 races safely under your belt. Now we're sitting behind Zed. Zed signalling for Chris to make progress and move past him. Lovely respectful driving there, guys. Riding with Tom in 5th place, and you can see the top 4 in front of us, again separated by just seconds. Through the Knickerbrook chicane, and we power up through Water Tower and into Druids. Oulton Park is such a terrific circuit. As you can see, the barriers are fairly close in, and error anywhere can often lead to an incident. And riding with Neil in 4th place, we can see the top 3 battling it out there. Neil having a look as we come through Avenue, but James staying in front. Top 4 here separated by less than a second. See, Tom is right behind on our tail. Tom has lost his nose cone, I see. Back with Chris, making great progress this time around Simon for 18th place. Back riding with Tom in 5th place, looking at our top 4 cars leading out the way in front of us. 3 abreast as we come down to Lodge, but all cars safely through the tricky Lodge corner. Fantastic drive in there. Bit of debris, there must have been some contact in front. Tom getting a good drive out of the first corner there, and he is alongside for 4th spot. Watching from Mark's view, Tom is around the inside of Neil through Cascade. Back on board with Chris, and this time I'm his target. I thought Chris was coming to lap me, so I let him through. Chris missing the gear as he goes by. Back riding with Mark in 6th spot, and we're looking at our lead 5 in front of us. Mark picking up a toe and picking up 5th place as well into Knickerbrook chicane. Any one of these top 6 drivers has got to be feeling a podium is inside. As we take the run down into Lodge, Mark moves across to the defensive line into Lodge. Neil Evans shutting his wheels on the left hand side, but Mark doing enough through Lodge to keep the space. And Chris making more progress, this time on Stu Hatzel for 16th place. What a recovery drive that's been, Chris, well done. We're back on board with Neil in 6th spot, looking at Mark in front of us. the Britain chicane. Making our way down towards the Knickerbrook chicane complex. Neil having a little look at the inside, not close enough on this occasion to make an attack on Mark. Time there running down, our 25 minutes is done. Neil having a look at Lodge. He knows this is going to be his final chance. Neil and Mark are side by side. And they cross the line with 3/100ths of a second in between them. What an incredible race. Meanwhile, Simon overtakes me. You remember we exchanged places on the first lap of this race, but Simon ultimately coming through to take 18th spot from me. Stepping aside to let Peter come through, Peter in the quicker of the two classes. Just approaching the back marker there, hampering us slightly as we make our way through, but it's up to us to make sure we pass safely. Here we go, into Lodge for one final time. Peter getting slightly out of shape at the exit there at Lodge, which is very easy to do. Across the start finish line, started 13th down to 19th. And here's myself and Zed on the cooling down lap. Just look at those marshals cheering and myself and Zed waving and beeping as we go round. Thank you marshals for everything you do. And in Parc Ferme, a friendly little fist bump from Zed. That was a great race. We may have been contesting for 19th and 20th places, but we had an amazing time. Great racing, Zed.
I really hope you enjoyed that video, and my thanks goes to all of the drivers who kindly supplied their footage to help me make this video. Please do go ahead and give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and please do also check out the Caterham Graduates YouTube channel. Until next time, thanks for listening and thanks for watching.